Chocolate chip cookies have always been a really popular dessert in my family. I remember coming home from school and being super excited at the smell of my grandma's fresh chocolate chip cookies. However, as she got older, the quality of her cookies began to decline. So to bring back that magic that the cookies brought us, I decided to start trying some different recipes until I finally found one that my family liked just as much. And so the first thing that I've realized about cookies is that if you want them to taste better and you want the texture to be perfect, you gotta add pecans. And so today we're making chocolate chip pecan cookies. So the first step to making these cookies is to preheat your oven to 375 degrees. After you preheat your oven, you're gonna wanna get your baking sheets ready. So you wanna line them with parchment paper just like this. And so now we're actually gonna start putting together the ingredients. So the first thing we're gonna start putting together is our dry ingredients, and this is important to keep in a separate bowl because you're gonna add this to your wet ingredients later. So in a small bowl, you're gonna mix together 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and then 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of sea salts, and a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And yeah, that pretty much sums up all of your dry ingredients. And you're gonna wanna mix that together and set it aside while we put together our wet ingredients. After combining all your dry ingredients in a separate bowl, you're gonna wanna start to put together your wet ingredients. So the first is softened butter. You wanna make sure it's not too melted, but that it's soft enough to stick a finger in just like that. It's not good if it's melted because it'll just make the cookies a little harder. This makes it just a little creamier, if that makes sense. So you're gonna wanna add in a cup of butter, which is about 2 sticks. And then you're gonna add in a cup of granulated sugar. And then 1 cup of brown sugar. So you're gonna cream this together until it's about light. So if you're using a stand mixer or a beater, that'll be about 1 minute. After stirring for a long time, you will get this consistency, and this is what you will be looking for. Okay. Now that this is creamed together, you're gonna wanna add in 2 eggs. Okay. After adding in 2 of your eggs, you're gonna wanna add in 2 to 3 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Okay, now just like you did the first time, you're gonna mix everything together until it's a lighter color. All right, this is about the consistency you're gonna want after putting together all of your wet ingredients. So now you're gonna start gradually adding in some of your dry ingredients from earlier. After mixing in all my dry ingredients, I now have this doughy consistency, so pretty moldable. And so now I'm gonna add in about 2 cups of chocolate chips. And this is about, it's a little bit over a cup of chopped pecans. And then now to get that evenly distributed within my dough, I'm just gonna start folding it over itself until it's all incorporated. So after mixing in everything, it'll look like this, pretty hefty. We have a very busy cookie dough happening, but yeah, so it might be kind of hard to stir with a spoon, so you might want to get in there with your hands to start kneading it. But yeah, and so now we're going to get out a spoon and start to form our cookie dough balls to put on our tray. So when I make my cookies, I don't have a particular size I like to make them, because sometimes I want a big cookie, sometimes I want a small cookie. So I'll usually have a mix of both sizes on my cooking tray. So now we're going to put these in our oven, which should be preheated to 375 since we did that was our first step. And we're going to cook them for about 8 to 10 minutes. Alright. It's been 9 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and take these cookies out and see if they're ready to be eaten. Or, I guess, done. Here we are. I think they're looking pretty good. I like my cookies to be a little undercooked sometimes because I feel like it makes them softer and chewier as they age, I guess, so throughout the days after I make the cookies. But I think this looks pretty good. You're gonna want your cookies to sit on the tray for about 5 minutes so it can continue to cook on the tray. And then after that, we'll transfer them to this cooling rack right here. Okay, so now that all my cookies are transferred to their cooling sheet, we're gonna go ahead and repeat the whole process until all of this cookie dough has been cooked. Here are the final results. These are great cookies to make, especially when you have family over. Whenever my family has cookies, they have about 5 of these. But yeah, now you know how simple it is to make these cookies. I hope that you try it yourself soon and enjoy the delicious results.